Darren is going to kick us off. What have you got for us tonight, Darren?
Well, Belinda, I want you all at home to imagine the gut-wrenching loneliness of being told these words. No one else is having this problem. That's the cruel echo that was in the ears of those trapped in the post office scandal. A scandal not just of words, but of life-shattering consequences. There were 4 suicides, there were bankruptcies, there was a pregnant mother put in jail. It's a real-life horror show laid bare by ITV's drama Mr Bates versus the Post Office. And now the latest twist is that the Post Office are embroiled in the Horizon accountant scandal and now face criminal investigation for potential fraud. Yet Paula Vennells, the ex-CEO, clutches on to her CBE for, unbelievably, services to the Post Office. Services to the Post Office? What for? The biggest stitch-up since the bio-tapestry. Nearly 1 million people are clamouring for Vennells to lose her CBE. It's a number that keeps climbing this petition. It's a thunderous demand for justice. This isn't just a petition. This is a roar from the public, fed up with injustice. Enter Alan Bates, the unsung hero of this dark tale, who actually turned down an OBE in protest. His actions aren't just noble. They're a stark, shining contrast to the murky depths of this scandal. Bates isn't just a hero. If you ask me, he's the sort of chap we desperately need more of within the political arena. Let's cut to the chase here, though. Vennells' stint at the Post Office was a catastrophic cocktail of failed leadership and, frankly, moral bankruptcy, which might strike you as odd, given that she was a Church of England priest, for heaven's sake. If there's a flicker of integrity left in this woman, she'd hand back that CBE, not tomorrow, now. This sorry saga will be forever etched in the annals of history for its unprecedented negligence and, frankly, its heartlessness. Right, I mean, I don't know where to start on that. Belinda, do you think actually, and I've spoke to you slightly about this backstage, that actually the losing holy orders, I think the Church of England should say that she should never be able to practice as a priest in the Church of England ever again?
I think that's too harsh. I think, actually, as part of the Christian faith, forgiveness is a huge, huge part of it. And I think if she apologises earnestly and profusely from her heart, then I think that's then up to the victims to forgive her. I also feel like the one area that's not getting much attention is actually the IT behind it all. It's Fujitsu, I believe. They're not being held to account. They have absolutely caused all this trouble to begin with.
Well, if anything, they're getting more taxpayer money.
They're getting more taxpayers' money. And what I think horrifies me is that not only are they getting away with it, they should be the ones paying, I think, millions in compensation to all the victims, because Vennells has said she did go to them again and again, saying, you know, there are these concerns being putting forward, and that she was assured time after time that there was absolutely nothing wrong with the system. I'm not defending, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, that the attention should be very much on them as well to provide huge amounts of compensation. It has been a crime that's committed to these innocent people. I was reading a story about one of the women being separated from her 2 children, being put in a drug-infested prison cell and having to do 3 months of, I think it was a 9-month sentence, completely innocent. The kind of mental health problems that can affect you for the rest of your life, your reputation in tatters, the humiliation that these innocent people have been put through. It is a crime and someone needs to pay, but I hope everyone pays equally who that was involved.
I mean, Benjamin, do you think we have a problem in this country with rewards for failure? And it's not just failure, you know, this is negligence in the extreme.
Yeah, I mean, I think if she had a moral compass, she would understand that even if, you know, Fujitsu or whatever were telling her at the time that these mistakes weren't borne out, she would understand that one of the ways in which these people who had their lives totally destroyed could feel like there is some justice would be for her to give up this honour. But although ITV has evidently brought a huge amount of attention to this, it is notable that it wasn't just the woman who was CEO of the Post Office. There was also the CEO of the Royal Mail, who was at the centre of stopping these people getting the truth. And he isn't in the ITV drama. Why? Because he left to be CEO of ITV. And if that doesn't tell you that we have a culture of cover-up and of rewarding failure in this country, that even the drama trying to highlight these decent people's fight covers up part of the story. I think that tells you all you need to know.
Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with Benjamin. It's shocking, isn't it? We keep seeing these very self-righteous and very highly rewarded CEOs. I mean, NatWest comes to mind immediately, who, quite frankly, don't have the public's best interests at heart. They're earning millions and millions of pounds, being awarded high honours of the British Empire, and yet they go against everything that appeals to British values. We're talking about Christianity here, and quite frankly, she's showing no remorse. I feel like the only time she's going to show any remorse is when she's forced to, which doesn't bide very well for her, in my opinion.
Albie, do you think actually there are questions, and should be questions, for politicians who were in power at the time? You know, the coalition government, the Post Office Minister was Ed Davey, who is now Sir Ed Davey and leader of the Liberal Democrats. Do you think actually there need to be, it's not just Paula Vennells, do there need to be broader ramifications?
I think we've got to look at what's happened to the Post Office and Royal Mail since 2010. There's been a pretty wildly panned failure of a privatisation which has gone on. That was implemented by a Lib Dem Tory coalition government trying to save money in certain places. It's totally failed. It's really expensive to send post. This whole Horizons scheme has blown up because they were looking to cut corners and do things more cheaply by implementing an IT system which failed. So, of course, yeah, I do think there are questions that politicians have to answer, but I have to say I don't really care about the honour. I care about the criminal investigation which is now ongoing, and that justice is served through the criminal justice system rather than something a bit virtue signalling like getting rid of an honour.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah, and Benjamin, it does strike me that actually, because you mentioned the fact that it was an ITV drama that sort of brought it to the nation's attention in a really big way, because millions of people will have watched that drama series. But is it actually a damning indictment on the media as well, that it's taken so long for it to get this mainstream?
To be honest, I don't think that's true, because, you know, I'd read about this for many years, particularly in the Daily Mail and the Times. They did a lot on it. And I suspect if they hadn't picked up these stories, then you would have never got to this point. I just think there is sort of, you know, a level of cynicism that people, you know, probably didn't really believe the stories that were being told until it was laid out as clearly as it has been in this drama. But I'd also point out on the failure of the privatisation of the Post Office. You know, they had the controversy with Nigel Farage and entitlement to a bank account. The reason you no longer have a legal entitlement to a bank account is because that was guaranteed by the Post Office, but now that's privatised, so they don't have to do it. So it's caused so many problems.
But it is worth saying, Horizon, they started implementing that from, what, 1999? So, you know, that's...
And Fujitsu has 100 public sector contracts at the moment.
Yeah.
So they better own up and explain exactly what's gone on here. And if they don't, they should start losing contracts in the public sector.
All right, we're going